So after that complete and utter failure to protect President Namani, as I said before, it's time to get a little revengeance. And to do that, Raiden's had a bit of a makeover. Probably should have introduced Raiden properly last part, but I was too enamoured by everything else. So yes, we play as Raiden, who is obviously amazing.
How is it, Raiden?
So far, so good.
And a complete and utter badass, although obviously didn't do very well the last mission he had.
Yes, I should hope so, huh? I mean, how does it feel to fly like a bird?
Like a bird strapped to a remote control rocket.
We will get you in safely, Tovarich. Just relax and enjoy the ride.
Right.
Can you hear me, Raiden?
Doctor.
Remember the two procedures to maintain your new body. 1. Seizing nano repair units from your foes. And 2.
Absorbing their electrolytes. I got it.
Yes, enemy cyborg should provide plenty of MCFC electrolytes once you slice them open and extract their fluids.
They're terrorists. I was planning on that anyway.
Oh, and their left hands, if you please.
Excuse me?
Their combat data stored on holographic memory, typically located in the left hand. That data is very valuable. I am authorized to offer you upgrades and services in exchange for it.
How generous.
Ich liebe Kapitalismus. Had the world come down a few years earlier, I would have a Nobel Prize on my shelf.
There, I see land.
Oh, that's brilliant, it's finished raining. So we get a nice, clear sky as we land. Brilliant.
Great. Then we have time for a quick briefing.
I know you miss me, Kev, but I've been all over the materials.
That's what you said before Montenegro. Look, just humor me, buddy. Objectives, of course, are enter Abkhazia, neutralize the terrorists, and restore the rightful government, or what's left of it anyway. The president and most of the cabinet have been killed, and a military junta's been established. The terrorists brain-jacked all the high-ranking officers, and their cyborgs scattered the rank and file. The few leaders who have survived have no way of openly opposing the new regime. That's why they called us.
Andrei Dolzaev, leader of the occupation forces, an extremist linked to both the St. Petersburg massacre of 2015 and last year's terror spree in Georgia. And his arms supplier, none other than Desperado Enforcement, LLC.
And Mani's killers. If we don't stop them here, they could destabilize the entire region. But our more immediate problem is Jetstream Sam. I believe you've met.
The only problem I see is that nickname. I've got my enhancements this time. He won't be an issue.
Oh, that's
He may not
good.
even be in country, but keep an eye out just in...
Oh, sorry.
Very, very insensitive, Kevin. Like, seriously, dude, just watch what you're saying. But I have to say, this is probably one of the most badass mission insertions ever. And here's one thing I love about Platinum games. Their particle effects. Even on the PS3 and 360, they managed to pull that off. They didn't need next gen to do that, which is just amazing. So, now we're actually into the main swell of things. What was just mentioned there was the Codex. Basically, you can ring up everybody, speak to them at any time during the game, and hear lots and lots of information that can help you out. Or just laugh at, or just learn some philosophy, really. I mean, they do all have uses, which is very helpful.
Even for
Not that
you.
I tend to use
Understood.
codecs that much.
Some fighting will be necessary, though. I've got electrolytes to replenish.
Indeed you
This is
do,
not an
Raiden.
infiltration mission. There is no need to hide or avoid combat outright, huh?
Excellent.
Just do not get reckless. Stay safe and stay focused on your mission.
So, I believe
Warzone out here.
Boris and Kevin basically let you know what to do. Courtney allows you to save your game, and Doctor will do philosophical musings and techie stuff, generally.
The entire town, and are using the refinery as their HQ.
And that's why we're hitting the plant.
Keep in mind, those cyborgs are contractors. For most of these guys, this is just a job.
Which is very
In
depressing.
theory, once you eliminate their commanding officer, they should scatter pretty quickly.
That's nice. That's helpful.
How we doing, Courtney?
You're looking good on our end. GPS and audio-visual feed coming in fine. Energy consumption? Check. Damage levels? Check. Blood pressure, brain waves, blood sugar? Check, check, check. All this monitoring equipment, I got a better view than if I was standing right next to you. Anyway, I'll be saving
That's
all your data
it's
automatically.
that's actually kind of insane. Because you would think that being close by someone would allow you to tell
Good to
stuff,
hear
but
that hasn't changed with this new body.
I guess when you're a cyborg, you've got all those feeds running through you. You just have insane stuff.
Roger that. Let me know if you change your mind.
Now,
Copy. And glad to hear you're okay after Africa. That ambush was no joke.
Rising doesn't really break the fourth wall,
3 armored vehicles
apart
should have
from a
plenty
few
for that box.
times.
And it
Codex,
would've
I believe, are
been
the times when it's
guerrilla
breaking
force.
the fourth
I
wall
keep asking
frequently.
myself, where would an anti-Imani faction get the cash to hire cyborgs?
I know Metal Gear Solid is known for it, but
Maybe there's some
there we
intel I
go.
missed. A lead I should have followed up on. Maybe if I reacted faster, or coordinated better. I don't know.
You can't think that way, Courtney. Not in this business. You did everything you could. Put it behind you and move on.
You're right. Thanks.
Ah, it's okay, Courtney. I didn't do anything. I just let Raiden do all the talking with his philosophical waxing.
Copy that. Go ahead, Doc.
As we discussed, you've been outfitted with 2 revolutionary new abilities.
Fuel electrolyte absorption and self-repair from seized nanopaste.
Excellent.
Precisely. First, electrolyte absorption. This is simplicity itself. As your HF blade is linked directly to your fuel cells, simply
Right.
cut into any source of electrolytes. Say, a hostile cyborg made up of CNT muscle fiber. And your fuel cells will
Oh
recharge
god, all
on
the
their own.
science.
Rather elegant, wouldn't you say?
I have to say, considering my dissertation has got an element of science in it, you'd think I would
Their process is a bit
be
more,
slightly more
involved. A bit
involved
more
with all the
messy,
complicated
you might
scientific
say.
terms.
Most military cyber
But I was just
models
writing
show a
about
dash of
air.
self-repair nanopaste
So,
in the abdomen.
So I need to slice them open and use Zandaki
Yeah,
to
that went well.
Cut and take, in other words.
Correct. Once extracted, you need only to crush this unit in your hand to absorb the repairing agent inside.
We'll get to the Zandatsu shortly. It's really cool.
If the unit should hit
You
the
should
ground,
have seen it
some
if you've
paste will
known
surely
anything
leak
about
out.
Rising at all.
It will still repair your body, but less so than if you can retrieve it directly before your foe falls over.
Basically, harvest their organs before their body can even hit the ground.
Rather gruesome, I realize. But then you Americans enjoy a bit of gore, don't you?
I may be a citizen, but I don't really think of myself as American.
Comment on American Video Gaming Society. Very unsubtle. I don't think the Metal Gear series has ever really been known for its
No nation,
subtlety,
no ethnic
though.
group. I'm my own man. Anyway, I seem to recall those gory torture porn movies were pretty popular in Germany, too.
Indeed, indeed. These splatter films are big in Germany, Russia, Japan,
It's
everywhere.
very true.
Well, everywhere except regions afflicted by actual warfare. It all has to do with taming our fears, you know?
Huh?
Very true.
The desire to feel fear, to taste death, but from a safe distance. These films allow the viewer to delude themselves into thinking they have overcome their fears. This
Okay,
And in a
okay, Doc, I
a
get the
way,
gist. Let's save
playing
the
a video
subject
game like
for
Rising
some
does a
other time,
similar
huh?
thing, really. But anyway, now that all those codec conversations are done, we're never going back to them. Sorry if you were looking forward to codec conversations.
The bastards are using stealth
And let's actually get into a fight.
Nice try, but it won't do any
It's going to be
good
very
with the
short,
state-of-the-art cyborg
because there's only 3 of them.
To parry incoming hits, throw out your own barrage.
And I'm going to Zandatsu the heck out of them. Now, when the name of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance was announced, I'll go back into the creation of Metal Gear Rising at some point soon. But I just want to cover the Revengeance bit right now, because I really like my whole definitions and etymologies and all of that. So Revengeance, despite people thinking that it's a made-up word for this game, it's not. It's real. It exists. It means revenge, vengeance, also an act of revenge, but it's an obsolete word. But it was common in the 16th century. It could come from the Middle French Revengeance, or the Old French Revengeance. Essentially the same thing, except spelt differently. Or it could be adding prefix re to vengeance, but basically merging revenge and vengeance together. We've also got a vengeance there as well, so there's precedent for it.
And don't forget the PR angle. Nations
But
playing Frankenstein with
yeah, I mean, there are a reasonable amount of instances of revengeance being a word from across history. The first one that the Oxford English Dictionary highlights is from about 1480 in, I think it's
muscled up and less predictable.
Legends.
Where'd Desperado find
Oh
these
god, I
guys?
don't even know what this is. Okay.
They're like walking
William
planes.
Musham Metcalf, Legends of the Saints in the Scottish dialect of the 14th century. In St. Peter, I believe,
Easy there,
where
Dracula. Like I said, there's
it's
still
written,
people.
I shall ger mine angelis talk of him revengeance. And then there are other instances, all the way up until 1994 actually, in something called Skriker by Sea Churchill,
Let's get to work.
where he says, well, he or she, I don't know what gender, where they say, Revengeance is gold mine, sweet. So, even as recently as 1994, Revengeance is a word that is used. So, no, it's not a made-up word, despite what you may think. I just find that really cool.
Good. Let's recap the route you will take.
Okay?
As I said, the enemy's HQ is in the refinery along the coastline. Dolsaev has been spotted there using satellite photography. Also on site, Mistral, a Desperado captain.
So I go through the city, cross the bridge into the old town, then head down to the rear of the refinery.
Still, I think they anticipate us. They will probably have a grand reception awaiting you at the old city. Do not let your guard down.
We'll try not to. So, it frequently happens that you get put into these mini codec calls that you have to sit through. You can skip them, but if you want to get the story, you're going to want to sit through them. And sometimes they do get in the way, it's slightly annoying, but oh well. So, if you hadn't guessed yet, this is the 360 version of the game. It was also released on the PS3 and very recently the PC. But in Japan it wasn't released on the 360. That version was canned for Japan. I guess because of the 360's general unpopularity in Japan. It happens.
Radar and IR data to construct your AR display. Some civilians are still in the city. That is not good.
Yes. One of the things that you can do is rescue civilians. Basically, you've got to be very, very stealthy as you run about and murder. Because if a single person notices you, that civilian is dead. It's quite difficult to get them all, so I'm just not bothering. Sounds really bad. I'm being really lazy in my gameplay of this, and I'm really sorry, but oh well. Either way, Metal Gear Rising is the 9th canonical entry in the Metal Gear series, and it's set 4 years after the events of Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of Patriots. And, basically, it was originally going to be an interquel between Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 4. And it was going to be developed by Kojima Productions, and it was quite dark, and there was going to be stealth and slow motion dismemberment. But basically it met with difficulties in developing a game based on the swordplay because they just couldn't figure out how to make it fun. They had the blade mode mechanic. They knew what they wanted to do with that, but they couldn't turn that into a game. And then Revengeance kind of went under, well, as it was then called Metal Gear Rising, or, well, even more accurately, Metal Gear Solid Rising. It kind of disappeared for a while, because it was first announced in 2009, disappeared, and then in 2011, it was announced that Platinum Games was taking over the development, and the first trailer that was released of Platinum's new, improved version, surprisingly received, well, not surprisingly in the slightest really, but it received very mixed reviews, because it had very different playing mechanics, and the storyline had changed, it looked different, and obviously it had signature Platinum Games insanity, and I think a lot of people weren't very impressed with it. Since then, that has changed. I think a lot of people do like Metal Gear Rising as it is now, and I think there are a lot of people who are probably glad that it got made, because if Kojima Productions had just continued trying to do what they did with it, it wouldn't have happened, and it would have basically been cancelled indefinitely. So, one thing I haven't brought up yet is the music for this stage. Main music is called Dark Skies, and it also had a different kind of... There is a demo version, which was called Cuts You Down to Size, but it was completely changed. One of the things that's really, really cool about all the songs in this game is that all of the lyrics actually kind of mean something in relation to what's happening. So this particular song has things about changes in society, bad things, so corruption, bribery, manipulation, acquisition of war, all relatively subtle, because the lyrics are brave new world rising, I can't believe my eyes, we've fallen down, we're blinded by dark skies. It's in the way we all exploit the weak, the justice that we seek, accept the truth to be free. Times have changed, don't let the fate remain the same, life so fleeting. The future's ours to take when we doubt everything, no turning back now, find your own path, but don't give in to the wrath. And the vocals are done by Graham Cornies. Probably should have covered Rules of Nature. Rules of Nature, the vocals are done by Jason Miller, but you'll be hearing that frequently throughout this game because it's one of the most badass songs ever. Now, as well as having these normal people goons, we also have the misfortune of having to face down geckos, who jump about and are a general pain in the backside. I hate geckos, although saying that, they're not nearly as bad as an enemy that we're going to fight later on. Those things are monstrous, and I cannot stand them in the slightest. I don't think anyone can, if I'm honest. they're just one of the most irritating enemies that you ever have the misfortune of facing. Basically, I mean, that fight can be a challenge if you aren't quite prepared for it. I kind of wasn't, and if I recall correctly, I did die, because I went at it really badly, and then I just got kind of attacked by everybody.
Raiden, wait. We're picking up a wireless transmission near your position. From the frequency, most likely an enemy data terminal. Check it out. We may be able to salvage some intel.
Yes, so one of the collectibles in this game are these terminals. Basically, getting them gains you access to VR missions, which are basically challenges that you can do. They're hidden all throughout the game. There are even some in the prologue. Actually, no, they're not any in the prologue, but there are other collectibles in the prologue, which I just kind of avoided because there was no real need to get them. I just wanted to do a nice, smooth playthrough of Rising rather than 100%, because I can't do 100%. And now we get another awesome boss fight.
Interface prototype. All autonomous UGs feature high-level onboard artificial intelligence. An additional prototype interface enables verbal communication. I possess an intellect far beyond human reckoning.
You don't say. Okay,
indeed.
What's the meaning of life? Why are we here?
40. Well, meaning of life, the universe, and everything is 42. At least the meaning to the question of life, the universe, and everything is 42. But unfortunately, I don't think LQ48 48.
That's it?
84i. There we go. Head not working properly. I really like this acoustic intro into the song. It's amazing.
Should I disobey a direct order, my memory would be wiped. I must destroy you.
What good is an intellect if you can't use it?
Your taunting is pointless. Exterminate.
And here we get into the full song of I'm My Own Master Now, which is amazing. I just love all the boss themes, but not all of them as much as each other, but I really just like all the boss themes in this game. They're just amazing. The lyrics in this one are also quite cool. So, if you haven't learned how to block and parry yet, now's the time to do so, because you're screwed if you don't parry and block. Because Blade Wolf here is very quick, very powerful, and will kill you quite quickly if you aren't careful. Now, one of the things that Rising is criticised for is its camera, because it doesn't quite work how you want it to sometimes. I mean, you can lock on to enemies, but sometimes that's not as useful as it could be. Like, because then if you lock onto the wrong enemy and struggle to get to the right one, then it's just a waste of time. But if you lose any health during your fight with Blade Wolf, make sure to Zandatsu the enemies that fall down when he asks for backup. Because it's also what you're meant to do if you want to get a very high rank, because you get marked by how many Zandatsus you do. And now we have to fight a gecko. Wonderful as it is. I still find it hilarious that they moo. If I recall correctly, the reason that they moo is kind of like psychological warfare. So you hear a cow moo, you don't seriously, and then it kills you. Quite clever, but I'm sorry, but if I saw anything like that mooed, I would be running faster than I could ever possibly want to run. Probably still managed to kill me, but still. There's not a lot you can do about it when there's a massive death machine with your name on its system. So yes, you can see why I like Omoyo Master now. It's just really cool. It's got that same intro into the chorus as Rules of Nature's in the whole. This one has Time to Leave Them All Behind, and Rules of Nature has Rules of Nature. It's just a really cool way of getting into the chorus. It's very memorable. And that's Blade Wolf down and dead. After beating up a boss, you'll get a little codec conversation, and then you can move on. I feel really sorry for Blade Wolf. Poor thing. It's sad. Anyway, it's time to move on and find out what's going on here.